Unleash the power of purpose with impactful business voices, hosted by Nancy Backey and Anita Larson. Each week, you'll be inspired by stories from companies that are making a real difference in the world, and you'll learn practical tips on how to grow your business with an impact.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Guys, listen, we are back for our last episode of the year, 2023. What an amazing year. Impactful Business Voices podcast. Our monthly podcast, guys, is we have a business lounge that we do every last Tuesday of the month. We showcase business owners that make an impact in our business all year round. And on the last month, we decided to come here and hang out with you guys for a few hours. So we are having, we're not going to have any live episodes over the holidays. And we wanted to make sure just that we cover this very important topic before we go on break. So thanks for being here. I'm Nancy Backey.
And I'm Anita Larson. So, like Nancy said, welcome to our holiday episode. So, we are going to dive into a topic today that is really discussed a lot and it's close to every entrepreneur's heart. It's very important, and that's work-life balance. And we wanted to make sure we cover this at this time of the year during the season. So as we get closer to the holiday season, this is, what better time to really reflect on how we can balance our entrepreneurial life and how busy we can be as business owners with our personal well-being and quality time with our family and everything else. So that's what we're talking about today. So Nancy, I'm going to let you kick it off.
Yeah, listen, I really wanted to start this off with our 80-20 rule.
Yes.
I know a lot of you guys have heard about the 80-20 rule, and it's in nature, it's in business, it's in our personal life, it's everywhere, but we got to use it right. So first, I do believe that every business owner needs to know where it came from. It's called Pareto's law or Pareto's principle. So for those that don't know it, he was an economist many, many decades ago. And he figured out that 80% of pods were coming from 20% of his peas. Was that what it was? It was a long time. It's been a long time that I haven't even mentioned that one. But it's very important. So for those that might know this concept, it might be a little bit new, but when it's simply understood, it's a really powerful idea. So in business, it's 80% of outcomes in your business comes from just 20% of your efforts, or 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of what you're doing in your business, right? This is a rule that's a game changer. It's really, it's identifying what we really need to do every day to be successful in our business and to truly drive the results that we are looking for the right way, right? Because we hear a lot of things out there. There's going to be a lot of people telling you out there, and I'm sure you hear it every day, do this, do that. That's going to be the one that's going to help you in your business. Listen, make sure that you stick to the 80-20 rule. By doing this, we're not just working harder, we're working smarter, and we're freeing up that invaluable time for ourselves. And, just to be able to do things well, it's not just for ourselves, but for our employees, our partners, for our family, right? It really comes as a package. So yeah, anything to add on the 80-20 rule? Did I miss anything? But I think the main idea came out.
Yeah, no, I don't think you missed anything. I think it is very important and just such a great concept to keep in mind. Like, what bucket is my effort falling into now? Is it falling into the revenue generating bucket, so to speak, right?
Yep.
And I think a huge part of following that 80-20 rule is prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
And prioritizing is really key to finding the time, getting the time back in your business, like focusing your efforts again where they should be, on things that are generating revenue. Some things in your business are just not as important. Yes, there are things that you have to do regardless, right? It just has to be done, whether you want to or not. It's just part of your day-to-day tasks.
Yep.
But don't focus so much time and so much effort on something that's not really going to matter in the long run in your business, and keep being prioritize those items and focus on those items. Don't get scattered. Don't look at all the, what do we call it? Shiny squirrel syndrome. Don't look at all the 100 other things that other entrepreneurs are doing. What are you doing for your business? um, what tasks are crucial for you to run your business, and which ones can be postponed potentially or can be delegated to others, whether it's somebody else on your team, whether it's somebody you're outsourcing, but that you don't have to do yourself. And we're talking to you as a business owner now. So this is important. You as a business owner, you don't necessarily have to touch everything in your business. Don't be an employee of your business. Be the CEO of your business, right? So that will help you not only streamline your work, but making sure you're not overburdened, leaving space for personal time, and more importantly, also having some time to think strategically about your business. Don't get buried in the everyday task that has to be done in a business. Take the time to delegate, outsource whatever you need so you act as the CEO of your business.
Yeah.
Prioritize.
I just want to make sure everybody hears CEO is CEO and not the chief everything officer, right?
Right.
You want to make sure that you are the one out there. So that is so important because we think that we need to do everything because we want our hands in everything. That is
And
an
we get it.
important point.
It's your
Yeah.
baby, right? Like you want to have your hands
Mhm.
on, you want to know what's going on. But part of being a successful business owner is knowing what to let go and when to let it go as well.
Yeah.
You're not going to be successful if you try to have your finger on the pulse of absolutely everything that happens in your business.
Yeah. And I want to also repeat what she brought out is revenue generating activities.
Mm-hmm.
That is not including designing your logo, putting your website together, right? I just want to make sure because a lot of people, they think that that's what they need to put their business together as startups, or even if they're 20 years down the line and they want to, that is not what's going to get you clients.
Nancy, can I speak to that? Because I am like the queen of that. With
Absolutely.
my marketing background, I can get buried in like using the right font and making sure everything looks pretty. I can get buried in that for weeks, months. Just let me keep going. And I will admit that has been a hindrance to me sometimes in my business, because that means that I am spending time on making sure everything is perfect rather than getting myself out there and running my business and getting clients.
Yes.
And I know that that's something many of my clients do as well. Many of us are perfectionists, and we think, but the bottom line is somebody from the outside is not going to look at things the same way you do. Where you see imperfection, they don't, right? A lot of times it's only in your mind and how detailed oriented you are and how strongly you feel about your brand. So yes, those things have to be done, but it doesn't always have to be done to the level that you want to get them done for you to leave it and now use it to create revenue.
Yeah.
So that is
And
very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
yeah, no, and I'm glad that you brought it. And, again, I'm going to come back to revenue generating activities. It
Mm.
needs to be in your calendar. If you don't put it, guess what? You're not going to do it. Right. And make sure that you're adamant with it. If you're, for some reason, you can't make it on the hours you do it, you have to move it on that same day to another time so that it's actually done. Because without those revenue generating activities, nothing occurs. Right. So, talking about calendar, the importance of taking care of you, self care. As business owners, we tend to forget about ourselves
Mhm.
because we are we assume we want to be that chief everything officer and do everything and take care of everything and just forget about us. Well, here's the deal, guys. If you don't take care of you, the business will not grow. Um, Self care, it's not just a luxury, it's an essential, right? Whether you're going to decide it's going to be a hobby or you're going to exercise, or you're just going to have quiet time, read a book, I don't know, whatever relaxes you. These are activities that recharge us and can actually make us more productive when we are working, right? So it's really important to recharge our battery. And believe it or not, when you're boosting your productivity, you really feel like you're actually producing well. Like, try it, guys. It really, really works.
Mhm.
And get out of your office get off your computer. Don't read a book while you're sitting at your computer. Go, like, for me, I sit on my balcony. I love to look at the water, read a book, relax. Like, what's yours? Right? Everybody does. I take walks at night or sometimes during the day. Little, what is it that boosts your productivity, your mind, you're feeling good in that day? And don't just do it for 5-10 minutes. Take a half an hour at least in your day, even if it's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and another 15 minutes at night. Just find that time what works with you and your schedule.
Yeah. I always, and I think this is especially important for those of us who work full time from home. It's so easy to just get stuck in front of the computer because you're home. And I make sure I always eat lunch away from my computer. Like I'll take
Mm,
that and go sit somewhere else and just have that time for lunch. But I heard once upon a time I heard that it's so important too to just interrupt what you're doing and be
mm,
like you said, go for a walk, whatever you need to do, but then come back and you're going to feel refreshed. Your mind is going to reset. Your creativity is going to come back. And I heard that even Ernest Hemingway, the writer, when he was in the middle of his writing spells, he would write for a specific period of time and then he would stop. And if it was mid sentence, and if he was on a roll, he would stop and he would go for a long walk
mm,
and stop his writing completely. And then he'll come back and continue because then he would have reset himself basically and
mhm,
refreshed his mind. So I think it's just more important than most of us think about. And I know it's talked about a lot, but there are so many different ways you can do it. So just find what self-care works for you to keep you motivated, to keep you going, to keep your mind refreshed so you don't burn out,
mhm.
and you keep the creative juices flowing and you're ready to go again.
I agree. I do sometimes, though, like, I'm just giving you my walks, for example. I have to train because I love my business so much. Like, it's like literally my Mondays are Fridays, right? Like, we love it so much. So whatever I'm doing, I'm always thinking about what can I do better? What can I,
Mhm.
right? So I'm gonna suggest, because it is something that I'm working on as well. I'm pretty there, but when I'm taking my call it 3 breaks, one of them I'm still trying to control it, but again, I'm thinking about work and how can I get better and whatever it is, where am I learning, things like that. But the other two, I think of personal things. I
Mhm.
think of the relaxation. I can pray. I can, like I just get work completely out of that zone,
Mhm.
just so that because I have to get out of it, right? And it's really important that we do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, but I think that during those times, even if you think about work, you're in a different setting and you're in a different mindset when you do it. You're not sitting in front of your computer like, oh, I have to do this. This is, then it's more creative thinking. So it's still different than just sitting down and actually working.
yeah, no, 100%. And I do enjoy that 15-minute when I'm thinking, it's not the same way of thinking as when I'm taking a walk or when I'm here on
Mhm.
the computer. So for sure, I agree. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just learned something for myself. I'm going to keep that great thought of what I do when I relax in the
Because that's your
morning. But
creativity working when
it,
you're there and your
it
mind's,
is.
yeah.
I do that a lot when I'm driving in the morning because I have an hour and
Oh,
a half of
yes.
driving in the morning for the kids. So that's like I am in deep thinking on that. So yeah,
Mhm.
no, thanks for the tip. Hope that helped you guys too.
And I think everything we're talking about today, when we first became entrepreneurs, so when we decided to start our own business, I can speaking for myself, and I know also for many other people that I know when they first started their own business, part of the reason you become an entrepreneur is because now you're gonna have all this freedom. You can have the
Mm,
freedom to make your own choices, freedom to set your own schedule, freedom to work from wherever you want if that's what you looking for. And then now you're in your business and all of a sudden you're working like 24/7, 7 days a week, over all holidays. And you're like, wait a minute, what happened? This is not what I signed up for when I decided I was going to start running my own business. I didn't
yep.
realize it was going to be all this. But that's the thing is like, that's what's in your control,
Mm,
so you need to take that power back. You should have the ability to create a schedule that suits your lifestyle and still leaves time for travel, leaves time for your family, family events, holidays, self-care, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to talk about like how you can use the freedom to manage your time effectively, making sure you are present for both your business and your life. Your business is part of your life, but it shouldn't be all your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think many of us kind of lose that once we get into starting our own business. It's our dream when we first start and we decide this is what we're going to do,
Yeah.
and then we have to kind of look back on it. It's like, wait, this is not quite what I expected, and that's when you have to take charge using some of the tools we just talked about, and that we're going to talk about more as well. But you need to use that to take back control of your life and how much time
Yeah.
you spend in your business.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that work-life integration, it is so important. So I'm just going to bring a few practical tips that
Mm-hmm.
that we can achieve better balance in our life, because I do believe that even if we do have balance, we could always create more balance no matter
Absolutely.
where we're at,
Yeah.
right? And it's little things from taking your calendar and really working it. Like, I'm a color coordination, like on my calendar all you see are many different colors. There are like six
I'm
different
the
colors.
same way. Yeah.
I know if it's dark gray, that's all my personal. I know if it's purple, it's my clients. I know if it's yellow, I'm supporting coaches. I know if it's the right, it's I know exactly how many hours I'm doing. So that is one of the most amazing things I've ever done. And yeah, I write my
Mhm.
personal appointments of when I'm going to cook supper and when I'm going to have family time. And because guess what, guys, if it's not in my calendar, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
Right. So, and create, in that space for your home as well. I mean, sometimes like we're on live podcasts, the family needs to know. So maybe you could have a calendar for them to know when to not interrupt you, when to
Mhm.
knock at the door, when to, things like that. Just make sure that the family is aware of how you work. And these are small little changes that are going to literally make a huge difference when you're separating your work and your personal life.
Yeah.
Um, and you'll notice that when you do that and you're actually taking care of you a lot more, you are going to feel more of the want to put things in your calendar. You're going to find that you are producing more, that you are
Mhm.
getting things done quicker, that the things that you didn't have time to do, especially those revenue generating activities that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
put them in your calendar. Because again, if it's not in there, it won't be done. Right? So, how is yours doing? What are you doing to make your calendar better in 2024? Are you going to keep it the same way that you've done it in 23? How did that work out for you? And what can you do better in 2024? And if you don't know, look, reach out to us, write us a little comment, write us an email, reach out to us on LinkedIn. We'd be more than happy to support you and help you, take your calendar from where it is to where it
Mhm.
should be, to design to design it around your world and your life and your family, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point, and I'm the same way as you, Nancy. Like my calendar is my life. It's and I have same thing. It's all color coded. It's all. I think a couple of things that are super important for every business owner to block out on their calendar and keep it. I think one of the pitfalls we have is we block time out for things we need to do in our business, and because it's for us, we tend to schedule things over it and not keep that on our calendar. And we need to make ourselves as important as we make our clients and employees and other people that we have scheduled meetings with. Our time is just as important. So it's very important, I think, for every business owner to block out time where you strategically work on your business. You think about your strategy, you look at your metrics,
Yeah.
you analyze what's going on in your business and what's going to happen going forward. You need to have at least weekly time to do this. Like, how are you tracking towards your goals? Like CEO time, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Every business owner needs to have that on their calendar.
Yeah. I want to mention something just because you said that. And I think it's very important what you said. It is key. If you're going to book your lunch from 12 to 12:30, do not take a call. Guess what? Learn how to say no. It's not because you're not a nice person. It's actually because you are being good to yourself and say, no, look, I'm taking my lunch during that time, or I am busy. That nobody needs to know what you're doing at that time. right?
Hmm.
I cannot at that time. Can you do it at this time? Which time is best for you, this one or this one? I mean, if for those that looked at my calendar, I don't have space other than my 15 minutes in between my calls. There is no space. So if you're going to book with me or Anita, same thing. We've got only one or two or three choices maybe in that week,
Yeah.
right? So treat your client or your prospects the way that you want to be treated as well, to respect yourself in that
Hmm.
personal time, those breaks and things like that you're doing.
Yeah, and we have other practical tips that we go through with our clients as well. Like we have our clients do time tracking for a week to really see where their time is spent and how it can
Hmm.
be reassessed. And we also have them do a distraction log to really identify what distracts them from specific tasks that they should be working on and how to avoid that and overcome it. But I think to what you said just now, Nancy, is so important. Learn how to say no. So I want to go to setting boundaries and managing
Mm,
expectations because I think that's so important. I mean, boundaries are vital. You have to learn to say no. You can't do it all. And that goes in your personal life as well as your professional life.
mm,
And I think, especially for women, we have a really hard time saying no at times because we feel like we should do it all and we have to care for everyone and we have to contribute to everything as much, again, in our personal life as our professional. It bleeds over, right? So you have to be able to say no when necessary. And you have to feel empowered to say no. It's okay. And manage your expectations with your clients and families. That goes to what you said earlier too, Nancy. Let them know when you're doing a live podcast episode. I heard other people, somebody we had on the podcast said that she puts a sticky note on the door whenever
yes.
she's recording
Yeah.
live to
Yeah.
let her family know, like, you have to be quiet. Don't come in here right now. I'm live, right? So they have to be a part of your business too and want you to succeed. So you have to have those conversations with your household. Let them know that there are times when just because I'm working from home does not mean I'm going to be mommy all day, or I'm going to
Yeah.
be, around to do your laundry or cook, or I'm working. Like, I'm in my office, I'm at my desk. And I have that issue. My daughter calls me every day after school. She's like, "Oh, can you come pick up?" I'm like, "No, I'm in a client meeting right now. I'm actually working." So it's hard to set those boundaries, but it's so important for you to manage your business and
Hmm.
feeling empowered to be the business owner you are, I think.
Absolutely. I want to come back just a tiny bit. You
Yeah.
said something that was really important. And I want to remind everybody, when you're going to be putting together what you're going to put in your calendar and to reassess what your balance is, reassess it periodically. Don't just do it once in December and let it be good for the rest of the year. Go visit it. Go check it. Make adjustments where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
necessary, right? Um, and I mean, I look at it every night, right? But every week you could look at it and say, well, is this better off to go there? Like when
Mhm.
we meet, like I'm just giving you an example, like if this helps you guys. Like Anita and I, we have conversations on Saturday morning. Why? Because we don't want it to take over, during our, I don't know, call it the 9 to 5 time, the regular timing, right? Because we're busy during that time, so we just want to leave that for our revenue generating activities, right? So find out where, manage it properly. Again, don't be alone when you're looking at it. If you're lost, don't let it overwhelm you. you
Yeah.
know get somebody with you to look at it with you. Just make sure that, don't act like the people that just decide that they're going to make a change for the year on December 31st. And then if that doesn't happen and you don't do it on January 1st, you're going to wait till December 31st the next year. Like, don't be one of those. Like,
Mhm.
you could make changes 365 days a week, 24 hours a day. You just got to decide it. It's the same thing with your calendar, right? Don't leave it just for that once a year. So I know I could keep on talking about that one, but yeah,
But
just
that's also what we said, part of your freedom when you are a business owner. That is
yeah,
part of your freedom too. Like, I think we even said it in the promotion of this episode, Nancy. We said, if you need what do we say? If you need somebody to tell you you're free to take some time off over the holidays, this is the episode you need to listen to. Yes, you can take some time off during the holidays, right? And that's why you and I decided we're not gonna do lives
Yeah.
next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, because it's right after the holidays. And we feel like we, as well as you, should have other things on your minds during that time, and you should spend that family and quality time like we will. So yeah, we might air some, previous episodes that we love that we want to share again, but we're not going to do lives or create new episodes until after the New Year's, because that's an important time for us and we want to focus it with our families. And that's our freedom to do, right? We're free to do
And
that.
100%. And it's really important that, you know, when you're going to decide to take that day off, that time, that balance, and all that, you're not doing it for anybody else but yourself,
Hmm.
for your family's sake. Trust me. Like when I didn't have that work life balance many years ago, yeah, it was like, who are you? Right? You don't want to have any of that exist. It's the most glorious thing when you create that balance. And share it with those that you live with so that they know exactly how you are, because you know we're business owners. Not everybody's in a business owner. You've got maybe 9 to 5ers or that regular employees that work, and they're not in that same understanding of how a
Hmm.
business works, right? So just balance that between you, your and remember that finding balance, it's a journey, it's not a destination, right? So when you are when you are going through this, again, I'm just repeating it because it's so important. I went through this so much. It's okay to make changes. It's okay that your
Hmm.
journey is not like mine.
Yeah.
You just need to be, it's about you and those that you love that are around you. It's not about your competitor. It's how can you do your business better? How can you do you better so that you just only have better ahead of you, right?
Yeah. No, it's
So awesome. Listen, do we have anything to add? I think we've given quite a bit of information. I mean, there's so much more that I know we can talk about the work-life balance.
I
Um,
think the only thing we should add is, like you mentioned, we do have practical tips and exercises that can kind of help you prioritize and help you figure out where's all your time going. Because we're like, I thought there were more times than hours in the day than we actually see sometimes, right?
mhm.
And we do have quite a few exercises and things that we help our clients with. So if you're interested in learning more about those, email us here at info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com, and we can either have a conversation, you can have a conversation with either one of us, or we can even send you some worksheets potentially if that's what you're interested in. So just think about it over the holidays when you're taking time off. Think about what do you want your 2024 business life to be like, and how can you get better balance. And I mean, I think for many, like I said, the freedom we wanted as business owners, not quite what we expected once we got deep into it.
Mm.
And I think it is important to get that balance to really fall in love with your business again and make it what you expected it to be when you first started it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, be comfortable knowing that not everything needs to be done alone. I'm repeating
Mhm.
it because a lot of us think that we are alone. Get the support from your colleagues, your friends, your
Mhm.
families, from professionals. Don't sit there and overwhelm because it's gonna screw up your whole entire year, and you're gonna start again in a year, December 31st, 2024. Don't do it to yourself, right? Don't be alone. Don't sit in the overwhelm. Just ask the question. And those that love you and those that want to support you are going to be the one that are going to be there to help you, right?
Mhm.
This has been great. Guys, we want to wish you guys, all our listeners, and all that are going to be new listeners in 2024, a very peaceful and a balanced holiday season. We want you to enjoy every moment. Remember what Anita said, take some time off. Don't use the excuse of, I don't have time. No, all you do have is time. Every moment that you miss spending time with your family, with yourself, loved ones, etc., are you're not going to get that time ever again. So just enjoy every moment that you have, right? I'm leaving it to you, Anita.
Yeah. again, we just hope this was really useful information for you and that you're going to take note of it and put it into action. So feel free to watch this back if you want to think on it and listen to it again and make sure it really resonates with you. Our recording will be on YouTube immediately following this session at Impactful Business Voices on YouTube. And we're always open to chat. So feel free to reach out. And just want to mention again, too, if you are an impactful business owner and you have a story to share, we'd love to speak with you and possibly have you as a guest on the show. So again, reach out. And future
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah, don't miss out on every our future episodes. As we mentioned, we are taking the holidays off from a few live episodes for the next 2 weeks. But please go back, check out some previous episodes. They are all recorded.
Mhm.
If you missed any of them, they're all on YouTube, on LinkedIn, Facebook. I mean, they're literally everywhere. You could even check them out on Spotify eventually. Um, we're gonna be posting some of our favorites that for you to enjoy. Again, we're going to see you guys after the holidays. And guys, until next week, go make an impact.
Thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.